Welcome councillors, welcome officers, welcome to Leather Express. To this planning committee meeting of Tuesday the 31st of August. I'll start with the first item on the agenda, which is number 1, apologies for absence. Do you have any?
Yes, apologies from Councillor Swift and Councillor Hinton substituting.
Thank you. And good to see you, Councillor Clark. Good to have you back, Councillor Clark.
Thank you very much, Madam Chairman.
So we've got apologies from the Mayor as well.
Item number 2 on the agenda is declarations of interest. Do we have any? No, I see none. So let's go to the next part of the agenda, which is item number 3, minutes of the last planning committee, which was held on the 3rd of August. We'll have a proposal for acceptance. Thank you, Councillor Romans. Seconded by Councillor Gavashak. All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. And next I have number 4, which is public participation. I see we have 2 members of the public in the audience. Would either of you like to speak this evening to an item?
Sorry.
Would you like to speak this evening in public participation?
Yes. Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, if you'd like to stand whenever you're ready, you have 2 to 3 minutes. If you would mind just stating your name. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Not now.
Yes.
Off you go. Yeah, on your mark. Yes, yeah.
When it's
Would you like to stand? Yes, and give us your name, please, and the item you're speaking to.
Vivian Wheeler, a name Moorhen, as Ian's just found out, I lived in Henry since a child. 190 Million Road was my family home from 1938 to 2003, I think. And we had to sell it when my father came over for fees for nursing home. And we kept some of the garden at the top with a view that at some stage it would be quite nice to build a house. I could come back to Henry. At that time I was living in Shropshire. And so that's been planned, and a few applications have been put in that they reduced in size. And funnily enough, it's over a period of a good few years, as the house was reduced in size. I got older, and the house has got smaller, which is probably quite useful. And that's it really. It's a little so that I can come back to Henry to live. I have spoken with all the neighbours, and they haven't any objections. Because the ridge of this last one, it was a bit high, it sort of taken the light. And but there's no overlooking, it's not taking the light. The ends are sort of decking angled, and the neighbours have no objections. So I'm hoping this time it might be good. I can have my little fault told in.
Thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions? Yes, Councillor Plant.
I was just going to say well done for taking the initiative to talk to your neighbours in advance. Always nice to chat to them about plans. That's good. Good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So did you wish to speak?
Well, I'm here really with Vivian, but
He's always done the work for me.
Oh, I see.
yeah,
Okay.
okay, but I'm just going to say that you know, and you probably all the members of the planning committee will know I've done quite a bit of work, civic duties, and until recently, until Jeff Luckett took over, I was chair of the Henley Society. So although I designed this thing on this site, I wouldn't inflict you know, nasty bits of architectural town planning. So I'm just here to
Support.
be here and say we've tried a good job. But if you look at the drawings, you might be
There's
inferior.
more.
So if you can look forward to the committee recommending it or accepting it.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. That concludes item number 4 on the agenda, which was public participation. And moving on to plans amended, which is item number 5. Turn to page 13, please. I don't know if you heard it, councillors, our planning officer has just advised that she has no comments on any of the items in this part of the agenda. Okay. Okay, so let's start with the first two. I'll take these two together, if I may. P21 S2510, PC building consent for 2 to 4 Bell Street, and P21 S2561, full application, again 2 to 4 Bell Street. Yes, proposal from Councillor Gavin.
I propose recommendation to approve on both of these. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is that seconded? Councillor Clark, thank you. Would any of the councillors like to speak? No, okay, let's go for the vote then. All those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's unanimous, that's carried. And the next item on the agenda is P21 S2580, it's a householder application, and it's for 1 Northfield End. Councillor Gavin.
I propose acceptance. We already recommended approval. I see no difference to that decision. So approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Clark, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, let's go for the vote then. All those in favour of approval? All those against?
Oh, sorry, I meant to approve.
I was waiting for the against there.
That's carried, thank you. And next is P21 S2758, and it's a full application for Highleys Rotherfield Road. Councillor Knott.
Approval again. Same satisfaction of the college officer.
Thank you. Is that seconded for Councillor Gavin?
Agreed.
Thank you.
Yes.
Would any other councillor like to speak? No, all those in favour of approval there? Thank you, that's carried. And the next item on the agenda is P21 S2909. It's a household application and it's for 23 Hamilton Avenue. That's the Gavin.
Propose acceptance as before.
Seconded by Councillor Plant. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, let's put this to the vote then. All those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. So yes, we've got one more on this agenda item, which is P21 S2936. It's a household application and it's for 18 Luca Avenue. Councillor Plant.
Approval.
Thank you. Councillor Gavin,
Seconded.
seconding.
Yes.
Would any other councillor like to speak? No, okay, let's all go for the vote, then all those in favour of approval. And all those against. Okay, thank you, that's carried. Okay, the next item on the agenda is agenda item 6 on page 15. The first item is P21 S1973, it's a household application for 103 St Andrews Road. And councillors, I noticed that this has already been approved. So did we want to actually put any, it's too late now, isn't it, to put anything in, but yeah, I agree.
What, has it gone for approval already because there's a gap in our plan? So,
I'm not sure about that. I mean, this is a variation of conditions, so it's not a particularly difficult one, but they did, remember, you'll recall that there was a planning meeting right in the middle of August,
Yeah.
Which we decided we didn't need, and the officers all advised SODC that they would wait for our comments. But
yeah, I thought that might be the case.
for some reason, this one has actually slipped through. Okay, and the next one is P21 S3226. It's a household application and it's for 24 Waterman's Road. Councillor Gavin.
I propose acceptance of this. Totally acceptable.
Thank you. Is that seconded? Councillor Rowlands, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, all those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. And the next item is P21 S3241. It's a household application for 21 Kings Road. Councillor Plant.
Acceptance or approval. I know the Henley Society has something against Velux windows on that street, but every house has Velux window on that street. So,
At the front.
literally every.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Gavin, seconded.
Second. Yep.
Okay, would any other councillor like to speak? No, all those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. And the next one is P21 S3252. It's a full application and it's for Hobbs mooring, red line moorings. Jodie.
Yes, my comments were, I note that the conservation officer doesn't have any objections to preserve the historic interest of the surrounding listed buildings, but I do note that the EA objecting in the absence of a flood risk assessment, so I would object on lack of information. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Gavishak, please.
Well, I'm going to propose acceptance of this, although I absolutely take on board Jodie's comments that the EA had spoken about. This is a this is a boat mooring on a river, and we'll just wait for the EA to state that it's perfectly reasonable to work. So I propose acceptance of this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is that seconded? Councillor Romans, seconded.
Yep.
Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to be
Councillor
voting against this very strongly. I will also be making representation to the Environment Agency as well against this application. I am all for making the river a more accessible place to be. That's why I'd like to install steps. I'm all for disabled access. However, it would severely impact our own moorings as a town council. I say our own moorings as a town council, Red Lion Lawn, to be able to moor there safely and use that final ring under the arch under the bridge. It just couldn't be done with a great big mobile platform there, and that then impacts us as somebody trying to rent that out and the mooring out to businesses going forward. I'm also concerned about the accessibility needed there. Where are people going to park? Where are they going to go from? If it's for disabled access, they put it in one of the least accessible places by disabled people. So for me, I feel like it's just a walk through straight from other establishments on the other side of the road straight down to the river. I don't think it's for disabled access at all, because it just makes no sense. Where are they going to park exactly? Are they going to go and get parking fines like the rest of the people? It makes absolutely no sense for me from the land. It makes absolutely no sense to me from the river. And I spend a lot of time on the river, spent the last 48 hours on the river. I love the water and I love it so much that I have to be against this. I don't see any need for it whatsoever, and I need more information. So I will be voting against this, and if it fails, I will be proposing that we are against.
Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Yes. Councillor Grant.
Just on the observation, it is the terrace at the moment, which is working really well. It's like this venture, and looking at the ramp from an overhead view, it's going to take out most of the usables. Because at the moment, there's quite a steep staircase that goes down, and it admittedly doesn't lend itself to disabled access. But Hobbs have multiple points they can route the wheelchair onto a boat, Hibernian mooring, New Orleans mooring, Consueters mooring. They all work they all have ramps that all work, but they have to have access to all of those. This would destroy part of our future use from this site. It's not just the mooring is actually kind of okay, as it were, if the EA are happy with it, but the ramp down is going to ruin the whole terrace.
Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Yes, councillor.
I recommend we refuse on this as well, because there's too many boats down there already, so they're going to come right up to the arch of the bridge. If there's any problem with the main arches and when they want to come through, they won't be able to get through onto the smaller arch.
Okay, thank you. Would you like to speak again, councillor Gavishak, before we go to the vote?
Pop to the vote and see what happens.
Okay, would seconder like to come back?
No,
at all? Okay. Right, well, let's put this to the vote then. All those in favour of approval, please raise your hands. All those against? Okay, that's fallen. That's an incident.
I'd like to propose that we object. It's 19th of the area. I think it will have an impact on our own land. And yeah, for everything that I mentioned before.
Okay, so that's seconded.
It's just not necessary.
Yeah, seconded. Thank you. Would you like to speak in seconding?
Personally, I just don't believe it's necessary. I don't think we've had one, someone could correct me, but I don't think we've had one request in the past for disabled boat owners to have access onto one of their moorings. Hobbs already have 3 access sites for disabled users to their moorings already, so I don't think we have an issue with access to a river.
Yes, okay. Would any other councillor like to speak before we put this to the vote? All those in favour of refusal? All those against? Carried, thank you. Okay, next on the agenda is P21 S3253, it's a household application, 23 Kings Road. Councillor Bagshaw,
Propose acceptance, it's acceptable, thank you.
Councillor Plant seconding. Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? All those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. Next is P21 S3284, it's a household application for 15 Elizabeth Close. Councillor Plant.
Approval.
Seconded by Councillor Bagshaw, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? All those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. And next on the agenda is P21 S3285. It's a household application and it's for the old school house. Councillor Clark.
Recommend approval. Madam.
Seconded, Councillor
Seconded, yeah.
Bagshaw, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, thank you. Let's go put this to the vote. All those in favour of approval? Thank you. That's carried. And the next item is actually a lawful development planning application for 13 Walton Avenue. So I understand that we cannot comment on this application. Hmm.
That's why I said approval.
Yeah, it normally goes in another part of the agenda. And I believe it is in another part of the agenda actually, so it's in twice. But yeah, it's, yes,
Lawful
that's
within
not-
the footprint of the property. Is that why it's a law? Why is it a lawful? What makes such a thing?
I think committed development rights, you can do, so you can extend out the back without any permission, so it's just a, confirm that.
Is there a ratio in relation to the house that you're doing with? Because obviously we get lots of these applications for home offices that don't come up with lawful developments.
Yeah, it depends on whether it's the terrace or the direct, you can go out either 3 or 4 meters and can also go out up to 8 meters. A unit, so there's a number of elements to whether it needs permission.
Can I ask one question? What's the height of it?
What's the height of this one? Yeah.
The neighbours will find.
It's got a sloping roof, hasn't it, this one? So at the highest point.
From 20 metres down to 1.
It's 2 metres, it's 2.5 metres.
Yeah. A very small person walking through the entrance.
Yeah.
Okay, right, thank you. Let's move on over the page to, Councillor Clark.
We can't.
No, it's lawful development, Councillor Clark.
Okay.
So unfortunately, we're not allowed to get involved in that application at all. So next on the item, at the top of page 16, please, is P21 S3342. It's a household application for 3 Deanfield Road. Councillor Gavashak.
I propose acceptance.
Seconded by Councillor Plant. Would any other councillor like to speak? No? All those in favour of approval, please. All those against? Thank you, that's carried. And the next item on the agenda is P21 S3353. It's a household application and it's for 32 Manor Road. I am just going to turn to our planning officer on this one and just ask a question. I don't know if you're all going to have noticed the same as me. Is it a correct description that it's a first floor side extension, single story front extension? Because it looked like it was a double height to me.
You ever got one together, Ken? You ever got one of those together? First floor side extension on a single story front extension.
Because it looked to me like it's the existing dwelling is a bungalow, but the proposed dwelling looks like a 2-story house.
Yeah, so they're building on top. Yeah, that's considered the first floor element. Plus the, yeah.
Yeah.
Front extension.
Interesting way of describing it then. I personally don't think it's correctly described.
It is in
It is.
planning terms. It
Okay.
should have an and, so.
Okay.
And single story front extension.
Okay, well, let's go with that then. Any proposals? Councillor Devshak?
Well, I was going to propose acceptance. Yeah, I'll do that, propose acceptance.
Councillor Clark seconds.
Even if it's misdescribed. Yes.
I don't think they're being disingenuous, I just think it's something we needed to check.
Sure.
Would any other council like to speak? The proposal currently is for approval. No, let's put this to the vote then. All those in favour? Thank you, that's carried. And next is P21 S3356. It's a listed building application for St Mary's Church, which is actually the Fillmore Fountain, I believe. It's actually listed building, so I will turn to Jodie for her comments first.
Yeah, it's a town council application, so. I don't want to
Oh,
make
is it?
a comment. Yeah.
Okay, it's our application.
So we don't comment.
We can't.
No, we don't comment. Okay. All right, let's move on then. So we've got P21 S3371, and it's a full application for Treetops House, Gillett Lane. Councillor Devshak.
Well, I'm the proposed refusal of this. We have an application for three, something like that, detached houses on this site, which I think is perfect. Two detached houses on this site. And I think changing it to, or it's a new planning application, but changing it to a five-bedroom apartment with what I can only describe as a heck of a lot of trees being removed, even though they are deemed to be low level arboriculturally. It's a site that's called Treetops, so there's a clue in the title. So therefore, I would ask the committee to refuse this, because I think it's removing the natural habitat, removing the trees, and I think they should stick the overdevelopment, five apartments and associated car parking, and they should stick with the existing application of two detached houses. Please, thank you.
Seconded by Councillor Romans. Thank you. Would you like to speak?
Yeah, I mean, I won't repeat what councillor Gavashak has said, but to add to what he's just said. Once again, we have an application in front of us for dwellings which a lot of people will not be able to afford. So again, I'm getting a little bit frustrated here as seeing developments like this, quite large ones, which people, normal working people can't really afford. So from that perspective.
Well, from a planning point of view, I think what I would pick up from this is that it's an over-intensive use of land which is in the AONB and it's outside the built-up area of NB. So it's over-intensive. Councillor Hinton.
Could I just confirm, Councillor Gavashak and Councillor Arlott, is this the one we all went to view at our district council?
It's one straight opposite.
Yeah, so we all got invited a year, 2 years ago?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to double check that.
Yes, yes.
Would anybody like to hear from our planning officer?
Yes, of course.
Yes. Yes.
No, I was just going to say what you've already said about the substantial number of trees. The design looked kind of acceptable, but the overdevelopment is already being picked up on. So yeah, that's my comments.
Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak before we put this to the vote? No? Okay, all those in
We get
favour,
a second
yes.
on Councillor Gavashak.
I'm sorry, I thought we had one,
I second
councillor
it.
Roman
Sorry.
seconded, yeah. Would any other councillor like to speak?
I'll just say I
Yes, would you like to sum up?
Yeah, I would just like to say I will accept your comments that you actually put for Jimmy to put down the A and B. If wrong.
Yes, I agree. Yep.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Chair.
Okay, all those in favour of refusal? Refusal? Those? Those? No? You're not voting, you're abstaining?
You voted against it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yes, so I'm
Yeah.
abstaining.
Okay, you're abstaining. Okay, fine. Okay, that's carried, thank you. We know on the minutes that Councillor Arlott abstained. Yeah.
Did you abstain as well?
Yeah, mine-
We're all twinning tonight, aren't
Hello.
Who's lying out in there? It's great.
we? Getting looking like teeth in front of you.
Right, let's move on, councillors. P21 S3381, it's a household application for 13 Western Avenue. Councillor Plant,
Approval.
seconded by Councillor Gavshak, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No? All those in favour of approval? All those against?
So,
Thank you, that's carried. And the next is P21 S3401. It's a full application for the cottage Highlands Lane. Jodie.
Thank you. So this site's already got permission from residential development. This is an application to extend the curtilage to one of the houses and to construct a garage. The eastern part of the site, it falls within a triple SI, which is geological importance due to its gravel flooring, the abandoned channel of the Thames. The MPPS states that development on land within or outside of the triple SI, which is likely to have an adverse impact on it, should not be permitted. I note though that this is just an extension of the curtilage, so no dwellings are proposed on this part. So I would have no objection to this. If development was started, then you would have to not have concerns over that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Gavshak.
Well, I would say that we approve it subject to a comment from the archaeological officer. They're the experts on this. Even though it's not a dwelling, it's expanding the curtilage of it, it still could have an impact on the below ground. So approval subject to comments of the archaeological officer. Arboricultural and archaeological, one meeting, and I pronounce them almost correctly.
In the same sentence twice.
Yeah, what genealogy?
Geological. Historically.
Okay, thank you. So
Yeah.
we have a proposal for approval with a condition. Is that seconded? Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak?
I was so ready then, and then you tricked me with any other thing. Ready to get there on time.
Now's your moment. All those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. Okay, last on this page is P21 S3407. It's a household application and it's for 50 St Mark's Road. Councillor Plant.
Approval.
Is
that seconded? Councillor Clark, thank you.
Could I just ask a question?
Yes.
Is this in the conservation area?
It is.
Yeah. It is.
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
So should we be accepting PVC look-alike with it? Just a question.
Jodie, do you have an opinion?
Because it is wood grain, white wood grain profiles.
Do you have any advice for councillors?
I don't know that neighbouring is more.
Councillors, would you like to just put this to the vote?
Don't know the area well enough to know if the neighbouring properties have done some, there's a listed building with us for heritage.
Yes,
It's not a
there is.
listed building.
Yeah,
for
no,
us
it's
as part
just conservation
stipulated in
area.
this application.
Yeah.
Even if they would affect, they're still relevant. Yeah, but if the environment that does place, then it's sense.
Yeah, it's always a difficult
Not the
panel,
shops
isn't
then.
it, this one?
It's not the shops in the centre of the town. Is it?
Okay. Would any other councillor like to speak before we put it to the vote? No? Okay, all those in favour of approval? Okay, thank you, that's carried. And top of page 17, please, councillors, we've got P21 S3441, it's a listed building application, 19 Hart Street, Jodie.
Concerns over the loss of garden wall and replacement fence, and consider this to be out of character and detrimental to the impact of the heritage asset. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Plant.
Oh, yeah, rejection. Apparently this wall was one of the first brick walls to be built in Henry, so it's the first experiment with the brick wall used around Smithwick. So I think it's clearly of good archaeological importance to lead them to do similar to Coates, which is a like for like rebuild from original materials to preserve it in its, as close to its original state as possible, but certainly not a mess.
Thank you. Is that seconded, councillor Gavin?
Yeah.
Thank you. Would
Same
any,
comment.
would any other councillor like to speak? No, all those in favour of refusal? Carried, thank you.
Do you want to use the reasons why so as well?
Yeah.
Councillors, let's move on to P21. So there's some kind of what's in it?
It's in.
Oh. It's hurting my ears.
Well, let's push it down. I won't be able to hear you.
I thought it was
then.
an alarm outside for the last half an hour. I thought it was an alarm outside.
I'm so sorry.
I do apologise.
My
No,
house
I
does not like
apologise.
that.
I'm just wondering.
Don't take this one, now I can't hear them.
Okay, so we've got P21 S3511 is a full application for Balmahar 42 Rothfield Road, Jodie.
Thank you. The only thing I really wanted to note here was the change of the size of the garages. They're going from single story to a garage and an office above. There's quite a substantial increase in size. I have no real objections to the design changes. And I didn't know too much difference in the architectural statement. Thank you.
Councillor Arlett.
I couldn't hear.
Try another one.
I heard what he said, ma'am.
I thought there was an SOS coming through, sorry.
Don't take it out of them.
He's pulling the left.
Okay, let's have a proposal, councillor. Councillor Gavin.
I'm actually on this proposed, well, see how it goes, proposed refusal, because this site has been hard fought over. Actually, no, this planning application was contentious when it was first put through. For 3 dwellings, we were wanting originally only 2 dwellings because it was over intensification of the site. And then they put in the planning application for 3 semi-detached, well, six dwellings and an apartment block, which went to appeal. Jodie and I represented the council at the appeal, and fortunately we got that over intensification turned down. My view is they should stick to the original planning application that was given by SODC. They should not expand the development of it. We must make absolutely certain that there are no trees going to be destroyed on this site, and any more than the original planning application. And I do think it's a material expansion of the planning application that SODC approved. SODC approved 3 detached dwellings with garages on this site, and I think they should just stick with that, get on with the extant planning commission. So therefore, sorry, I've gone on a bit, therefore I think we should refuse this planning application for those grounds.
So seconded, councillor Lance.
Yeah, definitely. I think if you look at the garages, although they're there, each one of them is a very small home being built as well. I think it paves a slippery
It's
slope for
great.
3, 4, 5 years' time to come back and convert one of those to another home. So I think we keep it exactly as it was in the garage. Mr. Furman is happy with that.
You don't think they're affordable garages?
How long? Bigger than my flat. It's got floor to ceiling window.
This is Palatine Homes, isn't it?
Yes.
It's Palatine Homes going for overdevelopment again.
Yeah.
Would any other councillor like to speak? No, okay, let's put this to the vote then. All those in favour of refusal? Those against?
I'm going to abstain.
Abstaining, thank you. That's carried, refusal. Let's go to the next one on the agenda, which is P21 S3537. It's a householder application, 25 Manor Road. Councillor Clark,
Recommend approval, Madam Chairman.
seconded by Councillor Plant. Thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, all those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. And P21 S3543, it's a householder application for 62 St Andrews Road. Councillor Gavashak,
Propose acceptance, acceptable, thank you.
seconded by Councillor Plant. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, all those in favour of approval?
Almost had it. Oh, it's on such a roll.
Thank you, that's
Thank
carried.
you for waking me up, councillor Clark.
I've never seen a committee vote so much.
Right, P21 S3554, it's a householder application for 1A Gainsborough Crescent. Councillor Plant. Seconded by Councillor Gavashak, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, all those in favour of approval? Thank you, that's carried. And next we have P21 S2570, it's a full application for 2A Wilson Avenue. Jodie.
Thank you. So yeah, this is located within the Hilltop area. It's for the construction of a one-bedroom dwelling. The principle of it would be acceptable because it would be an infill location. And it is on a small plot. It was refused planning commission in 2011. So like some of the concerns have been addressed. There's no windows proposed on side elevations, so shouldn't have an adverse impact on the neighbours, but could have an impact on the character of the area. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Gavashak, you have a proposal?
I like the design of this, and space for off-street parking as well within the design. And I think it's a nice design. We actually need small bits of development like this in Henley, so that it comes in a pretty good price point. So I oppose acceptance. Thank you.
Thank you. Is that seconded?
Yep.
Councillor Plant, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? No, I see none. So let's go for the votes. All those in favour? All those against? Abstaining? Thank you, that's carried. And P21 S3581 stroke. I've never seen one of these on the end of one of these before. This is T56. I've got no idea what that stands for.
15-metre monocle.
I think T stands for tower. I think T stands for tower. So this is for mobile access, isn't it? On the Marlow Road, right outside in front of Tudor Cottage, which is Swiss Farm. This is the second time.
Next meeting, we're talking business. Mum, he's trying to get me into trouble.
I'm going to keep a piece of chalk here and I'm going to throw it at you.
You need
Yeah.
a board.
Next time.
No, you need the board.
You need a board. You need a board, Robert.
The actual part, you know, your rates.
With chalk.
Yeah,
Put it
we
on the back.
I'll tell you, Mum, I'm not going to sit next to him
Go on,
next
let's go.
time at all. Get me into trouble.
Right, okay, definitely back in the class. No front of the
Yeah, what was
class
the
next time. Yes, Councillor Hinton.
I'm sorry, because I said I'd substitute quite late in the day, I haven't seen any comments about this, so you made a reference that it's outside a house, I don't know if those people are objecting at all. But for me, great, because the signal there isn't fantastic, so yeah, I'm all for any more signal I can get.
Okay, thank you. So that's for approval. Seconded?
Oh, no. Is there not somewhere else they can put it? Is this just a patch of land that they own? Why is it have to be in such a prominent roadside location? Can't it be tucked away somewhere?
It's just for a mobile telephone.
Yes, it's a mobile mast. And it's got some ancillary boxes next to it that, you know, sort of this kind of height, I believe. It's pretty big. It's right in front of a tree. Jodie, would you like to say anything about this application? No.
That was my concern. Surrounded by
Don't get out of it that easy.
Something else that I wanted
surrounded
to
by
say.
trees, how can we let the internet thing go into it?
Councillors, one of the things I wanted to point out to you as well, and I don't know if you wanted to add to this, Councillor Gavashak. It's actually out, a little bit outside the Heaven on Thames boundary, is it not?
Oh, yeah, but we're still consulting on stuff, even though it's
Even though it's
near.
outside the boundary.
It's like we're consulting on shipwreck applications. So I will second Councillor Hinton's motion, and I will say that we're in the modern world, we need mobile phone masts. Mobile phone companies have extensive powers. Why on earth the application has come forward anyway? Because they can basically stick them wherever they want to stick them. And unless it's absolutely glaringly offensive, then I think we should approve it. So I will second Councillor Hinton's
Okay, thank you.
admirable proposal.
Thank you. So we have a proposal that's been accepted for approval. Would any other councillor like to speak?
Councillor Arlott might like to officially.
No.
Is his phone full of jail?
Did you want to say something else, Councillor Palmer?
I don't know, I just think it's a
Trying
trend.
with COVID viruses.
As you pointed out, it is right next to a home. And if you Google plenty of stuff about adverse health effects when you're living next to a mobile phone mast, it does say that national recommendation is 500 metres. So to put it straight outside someone's home does seem somewhat unreasonable.
In that case, why would God have it in his own home at St Mary's Church?
Because God's immune to cancer.
Fair point.
The rest of us that die.
They're trying to go further on my road, or the road they try.
I mean, my own view is, yes, we need this kind of technology, but I do question the position of it. I do think that they could put it in a different corner of the field, you know. I mean, it's like a curtailage. So there's road, pavement, and then there's a certain amount of green space. Then there's the private fence, and the tree and the house behind it, a very beautiful house behind it. I just don't see why they can't
That's
put
the
it somewhere else.
lamppost. This is that nice person's house.
Very, very prominent.
This is a 15-metre mast next to the house.
Can they see it from any of the windows?
It's
Yes,
yeah, like
yeah.
that's the house. That's the beautiful house that is there.
They could
It's
decorate
got
it
a
at Christmas.
15-metre mast.
I mean, they're looking at lamppost as well. I mean,
So I think my personal view is that we could go for refusal, but they could easily come back with just an alternative that we would approve. You know, in a different
Shall we
position.
provide?
Anyway,
Shall we
yeah, let's finish
provide?
the vote. Okay, so we've got a proposal. Okay, it's for approval. It's been seconded. Let's put this to the vote. All those in favour? All those against? It's carried. So I've got a different proposal. That's fallen. I've got a different proposal. The refusal.
You'll have to pop one.
The refusal is because of the harm to the street scene, yeah, exactly. And the proximity to residential amenity. Okay,
They can find a more remote location.
yeah. Okay, would any other councillor like to speak before I put this to the vote?
I'll second it.
Oh, sorry, did I not get something to councillor Grant? Okay, thank you.
I'll second it.
Okay, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak? Okay, all those in favour of refusal? Those against? Thank you, that's carried.
I will curse you all the next time I'm on that bus. And I'm
They just need to put it somewhere else.
Plenty of masts in Henley within 500 metres of the property.
Doesn't mean we need to agree to
I
more.
don't just,
Agree.
I don't disagree with you. I just think that position is just,
Okay.
why there? You know,
That's fine.
leave it alone. Right, let's go, that concludes that part of the agenda, or have I got one more? That was all, great, okay. Right, so next we move on to number 7, which is objections and calling applications. Do we have any councillors? Yes, councillor Gavshak.
There are potentially 3 that I thought of, and just trying to Balmoral, yes.
Yeah,
Treetops, and also the Hart Street brick wall. I think if it does have such historical value, defer to councillor Plant's extensive knowledge.
I'm referring to the Early Society's extensive research on this. I learned a lot from that.
Then we should be preserving that, so those 3.
Yes, thank you. Would any other councillor like to speak?
Treetops, Hart Street,
Balmoral.
and Balmoral. Yes.
Okay, seconded by councillor Plant. All those in favour? Thank you. That's carried. And the next item is just to note the decision notices from the planning authority, item number 8. And next is item number 9, to note the certificate of lawful development on Waltham Avenue. And number 10 is the neighbourhood plan committee. Item 1 of 10 is to consider the note of the neighbourhood plan committee meeting held on the 14th of June. And item 2 of 10 is to consider a report and recommendation on the approval procedure, the revised neighbourhood plan. I don't know if the planning officer or councillor Arlett or the project officer, deputy clerk, would like to speak.
I would like to speak to my report on the approval procedure.
Please do.
So you may be aware that when SODC adopted their local plan back in December last year, then there was this part of the condition for the policy for Henley is that the revised neighbourhood plan allocating sites for development has to be put forward and submitted to SODC before a year has elapsed after their adoption of their local plan. This puts us on quite a tight timescale. We were obviously affected by the COVID regulations on when we could have an exhibition for the public to attend to choose the sites. This took place at the beginning of July, but then it depended on the analysis of the results from that survey from our survey company. And so looking at how the timescales for pre-submission consultation, amendments following pre-submission consultation and getting that plan submitted to SODC pan out over the coming months, then there isn't time for the neighbourhood plan to come to a planning committee and then go to full council afterwards. The town council standing orders and the legislation allows for full council to approve anything that would have been delegated to a committee normally. So this is entirely within the regulations. I just wanted to run it past the planning committee to ensure that members of the planning committee were happy with that proposal. So a special full council is planned before finance committee on the 14th of September to allow the council to consider the draft neighbourhood plan before it goes out for submission consultation.
Thank you. Councillors, do you have any questions? Did you want to? Yes, councillor Arlett, chair of neighbourhood plan committee.
Yeah, I probably could have put that a bit better, but not a lot actually. I think in the recommendation, we should add the date of the 14th of September in the recommendation. That should go in there. I'll just bring the item which Kath mentioned on 3.5 to your attention. Because if we don't go down the route that's being proposed, after about the 10th of December, you will get all developers coming forward with applications to build anything from 1 to 50 to 100 houses. So that's why we're obviously bringing these dates forward and missing out on the plan application. But so 3.5 basically spells out the situation that we're in. And Catherine's totally correct. If it hadn't been for COVID, we'd probably been at referendum at the stage. But you know, we are where we are. So I'd ask you all to support the recommendation on 5.1.
Could we not put a date in the recommendation, because I want this to apply to a special full council at the end of November as well. It's not just one, it's just generally that's what we'll need to do.
I'll propose Cat's recommendation.
I think Cat's wording is very, very good.
I'll second it.
You could have said it just as well, maybe better.
I think 5.1 says it well.
Yeah, yeah. We really shouldn't criticise officers when they are probably doing their best.
I didn't think it was any criticism.
Doing their best, that's something worse.
Okay. Right, thank you. Jodie, would you like to say anything? Speak to this item at all? Well, I'd just like to say thank you to the Neighbourhood Plan Committee. I think you've done a tremendous job. And to the officers, I mean, considering the timescales that we've been working under with the pandemic, and there's an awful lot of you know, volunteers from members of the public as well on this committee. So you know, I really take my hat off to them. I think they've done a tremendous job to get the town to this stage. So thanks on behalf of all of us, I'm sure. Okay, so the proposal is, I'll make a proposal from the chair, and that's to approve the recommendation of 5.1. I'll read it in its entirety. It is recommended that the committee resolve to confirm that the draft neighbourhood plan will be considered at meetings of the full council before pre-submission consultation and later submission to SODC, rather than being considered in the first instance by the planning committee. Thank
Just
you.
have the 14th of September.
Seconded by Councillor Plant. All those in favour? Thank you, that's approved. So that's approved. Okay, and next on the agenda is 11, Transport Strategy Group. This is to consider the notes of the Transport Strategy Group meeting held on the 28th of July. Been noted, thank you. And item number 12, the crossings on Marlow Road. Councillor Gavchak, would you like to speak to this at all?
Very, very briefly, the recommendation is on page 38. Of the thing. Just to say that the Gravel Hill crossing is coming in. Did you say October? It's just been put back a little bit. So the Gravel Hill crossing here is going to be installed. On the Marlow Road, they cannot actually produce a fully costed scheme until they get specialist advice from the company. It's in the for the design work of the Crossing Crossing. So therefore, we were always going to fund the whole of the Swiss Farm Crossing, subject to council approval. And of course, the full cost will come back to us in the future. But in order to get the full cost, we do need to approve the £3,423 for the design work of the crossing. So therefore, I recommend 5.1 proposal. Thank you.
Thank you, that's seconded. That's the Clark, thank you. Any other councillor like to speak?
Can I just ask one
Yes,
question?
Councillor Clark.
Would it be even best to put a roundabout there? So when they go into the Gatling, the parking, have a roundabout there. Move the zebra crossing down, where it's already in by the rugby club, put a footpath along there. So people don't have to cross the road by Swiss Farm. Put a roundabout there. People could put a rugby footpath over the zebra crossings by Village Court.
Well, the answer is, I think at the end of the day, it would be more expensive to actually run a crossing on the Swiss Farm and the rugby side all the way down there. I mean, it's a huge length. Plus the fact that OCC don't tend to like roundabouts in the middle of an A road where the speed of the traffic's already got up to speed. But anyway, this is the proposal that's been through council for the crossing, and we should go with it. Yeah. Okay. But thanks for your comment.
Councillor Clark.
I was going to commend you for the hard work on this. it's taken a fair amount of graft to get to this point, and I think we'll make a dangerous area to cross a hell of a lot safer. Had
Yes.
a few accidents on this stretch, and I think any traffic calming measures such as this would be.
Thank you, councillor.
Yes, I agree, thank you. Okay, let's put this to the vote then. All those in favour? All those against? Thank you, that's carried. Okay, how are we doing?
You've got 1 minute.
In your time.
Do it.
13, consultation on determination of footpaths. I have to confess that I did not actually click on the link. However, I think I've got a good understanding of where this is. Councillors, do you have any proposals? Are we to support this?
Does it make the order?
Yeah.
You're supporting, yeah, all those in favour? Okay, thank you. You've made representation of supporting. And 14 is the progress report for applications called in. Any updates, Councillor Ormond?
No, nothing to add. The second, sorry, the first one and the fourth one on the paper, they're both waiting for site visits, and that's due to COVID, because they won't do any site visits in people's houses. But obviously that might change soon. So other than that, no.
Okay, thank you. Did our planning officer want to say anything about applications called in for? No. Okay. Okay, all right. Thank you very much for your attendance.